All right, everyone, welcome back to Prospect Channels TV. Thank you very much for always coming out here. May God bless you all. I beg, if you just join us for the first time, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video, make it go viral. Let Nigerians understand what they happen today, particularly the Biafrans. Okay, I still want to use this opportunity to thank everyone, especially I say may God Almighty bless you all. I still want to, thank YouTube for making this platform available for every one of us. Make we take know wetin dey happen for our country and outside country. Also, I want to put a disclaimer that in Prospect Channels TV, we don't promote hate speech. We don't sponsor violence. We don't sponsor misleading information. And we don't also preach war. What we do here is we educate and we inform. You understand? That is the reason why we are here. So all these things I mentioned, I hate it. I'm against it. So I want YouTube to take note of that. We don't do all that. So guys, this video I'm about to show you will shock you what's actually, that is going on in Nigeria today. And the stands of Biafrans who are agitating for their freedom, they are saying that self-determination is not a crime. And based on how Nigerian government has been treating them and all these lies that has finally come to light. So guys, let me drop the video. Let's watch it together.
Is going on in our land, and of course we have to defend ourselves any day, anytime. Nigeria terrorist government have come with a lot of propaganda. When you demonstrate that you are ready to fight for your freedom, they profile you. They call you criminals, they call you terrorists, they call you all manner of names. The reason for that is to demoralize you. And we must not fall for that. My fellow Biafrans, I call on you this evening, do not allow the names they call you today to demoralize you. We're remembering what Nigeria did to over 3 million Biafra children through starvation. Yet, the world, as at then, wanted us to move on. 50 years later, after recounting the numbers of Biafrans that died or should have been avoided, we are all here today for not just a revenge, but to finish what our fathers started. The liberation of Biafra from Nigeria will restore peace, stability in our region. It will also end the upsurge of terrorists and piracy in the Gulf of Coast of Guinea, and of course beyond. The liberation of Biafra from Nigeria will restore peace and stability. Do not let the corrupt and criminal politicians to deceive you into believing supporting your own freedom is a crime, irrespective of our approach to restoring Biafra. I want to remind all of us, in 1776, the United States separated from the United Kingdom by declaration. Today, they are the world power. In 1830, Belgium separated from Netherlands. Today, they are one of the most powerful countries in Europe, both of the countries. In 1965, Singapore separated from Malaysia. Today, they have transformed into global financial hub as a result of the separation. Why is it that when we call for separation, Nigeria and their criminals will be calling us terrorists? Don't fall for it. The past separation has led to the upsurge of economic development in the case of India and Pakistan, Norway, Denmark, Switzerland. Each of these separation has led to the upsurge of economic development. In 2002, East Timor separated from Indonesia. In 1921, Ireland separated from the United Kingdom. Today, they are one of the powerful countries we have. In 1944, Iceland separated from Denmark, demonstrating that nations can part away without violence. Why do you kill Biafrans whenever we say we are fed up of Nigeria? In Nigeria, where you have dangerous diversity, in Nigeria, where you have the northern part of Nigeria practicing Islamic State, practicing Islamic Sharia law, and they have different culture, different laws, different rules, different everything. And with that kind of mentality and setup, we can never develop as a nation. That is the reason we call for the separate state, and of course for independent state for Biafra. Apart from the killings, genocide against our people, and jihad. In 1905, Norway and Sweden separated and goes their separate ways. Today, they are one of the most powerful countries in Europe because of the separation. In 1947, India and Pakistan separated. The list can go on and on and on. And when they want to tell you about Africa, they use Sudan to give you example. Biafra can never be Sudan. Biafrans are scattered all over the world, developing their countries of residence, making impact in governance and policy making. Sudan was never like that. Apart from that, we have a history. Democracy started from Biafra, and Nigeria continued to suppress us, enslave us, subjugate us into what we are today, destroying our sensibility and our sense of reasoning. Nigeria continued to enslave our people, enslave our future, and our progress. Today, in the same Nigeria, when the Biafra people try to rise through their business enterprises, Nigeria system will destroy it. They destroy it in Lagos, they destroy it in Kano, they destroy it in Kaduna, they destroy it in different parts of Nigeria. And in a system like that, you will all be diminishing until they wipe us in the surface of the earth. The only way to preserve our culture, value system, and save our life from extinction is a complete separate state. Exit from Nigeria, which the process has begun. My fellow Biafrans, today we have given a very serious warning to those threatening Biafrans about the Nigeria protest. We have absolutely nothing to do with the Nigeria protest. We are Biafrans. We don't validate Nigeria.
But this, would you want to own a gun yourself? Would you want to be able to defend yourself if you are attacked by armed robbers or by kidnappers in your own home? Would you want to be able to defend your children and your wife if you are attacked? I mean, you're telling me no, you don't want to handle a gun. If you don't want to handle a gun, that's your problem. Then don't handle a gun. But there are many people out there who want to be given the opportunity to defend themselves. So I speak on behalf of those ones, not for people like you who might not want to have a gun, who are vulnerable, but you want to remain vulnerable. But you know that the police and the military cannot defend you. So look, as I said before, out there, there are already a proliferation of arms in the hands of kidnappers and armed robbers and bandits. So you just want them to continue? But you know also that the other alternative is to keep funding the military, keep funding the police, but we're not getting anywhere. Because before you and me, over the years, you know that in this country, that system has failed.
Igbos are demanding for apology from Nigeria. Over what? For what are you demanding for apology? What will apology do for you? You don't need the apology. You need to stand up and face and tackle the world. You need to stand up and challenge that strange lion that is standing before you. You need to stand up and stand before the face of that thing that has been confronting you, that has been blocking you, that has been holding you down, that has been intimidating you, demonizing you, and the fight against that thing. And that is the only time you will be free. Listen, all these Efulefu Igbos you see, they come out, they are doing hand like this. They got no single mouth when they go to the house. When they meet with Nigeria, they know they fit talk. They will be intimidated. Okay, we have seen, what is his name? Ojo Zokalo crying. We see Obenayono before he died crying. We see all of them, Rochas of Crusher, crying. All of them crying. And these are men of so-called men of intellectual timber and the caliber. They will pass on siren and blow you doors and blow you water. Even if care is not taken, their army and police will beat somebody to death because Russia Sokrosha is passing, because Ojo Zokali is passing. People that have no common respect for themselves. We see how Ojo Zokalo has been kneeling down for Atiku, kneeling down for the other one. He don't have value for himself, not doctor of you. And Ohaneze demanding, Ohaneze today is demanding apologies for 1976 coup that was tagged Igbo coup. And I am Igbo coup. And I am asking, what happens to issues like this? Listen to this.
Are we your slaves? The way you elected was the way you were elected. Are we your slaves? How else you can suspend me here? Are we your slaves? Every time you keep on picking leadership for us. We are not your slaves. Whether you like it or not, the way you elected was the way we elected. We are not your slaves. The way you elected was the way we elected. How else you can suspend me? You have done your worst, Mr. President. What do you mean by that? You have done your worst. You have done your worst. You have put us to the wall. Thank you. Yes, we'll start with that. Meaning what? Meaning what? Meaning what? Meaning what? It's unfair. It's unfair. It's not about me, it's not about any person. It's about the institution of Senate. Thank you, sir.
You turned me a slave. But because you are a slave. That music that say, I am a slave. I am a slave. That is what you people are. Even in your own father's house, you are a slave. That is why you see Asare Dokobo being a slave for Funanis against his own father's house. You see Tompolo being a slave against his own father's house. All of them. You see the one that is called West, what is his name, that just died last week, a slave to death. Where are his children today? His children are scattered everywhere in the world. It's only we, the Biafrans, that labor so much, that develop so much everywhere in that country. Yet, our children cannot enjoy our labor in that place you call Nigeria. For instance, Nwoke that just died. Her children are fighting over the property just because they want to retain their father's legacy. The man have properties scattered everywhere. Their houses in Lagos, in Cross River, they cannot sleep there. They are only fighting for estates where money will be coming from. But the castle, you have go and watch the documentary of the man residential house in Lagos alone. Today, the children cannot live there. They will live in abroad. One will live in United Kingdom. The other one will live in Canada. The other one will live in Australia. This is how we are scattered everywhere. Ask yourself, why is it that the Fulanese will go to America, go to England, go to UK and study? After they finish their study, they will come back and take over Nigeria. But we go and they study, we do not come back because Nigeria does not belong to you. You think I'm lying? Ojo Zakalo, do you see any of his children in Nigeria? Whether medical doctor or even politician, they cannot practice in Nigeria. Who is that politician that their children? I'm telling you of we, the Biafrans. Do you see or do you know anyone that their children is in Nigeria doing anything? No. Despite the castles and paradises they build anywhere, everywhere. Look at Peter Obi. Peter Obi no get even one common chicken for Nigeria. He is trying to grab, steal, and run away back to where he is coming from. The former Enugu governor, Willie, where is he today? He's in America enjoying himself with his family. All the while he was there telling you he is governor, he want to want Nigeria. He never wanted anything. They don't believe. Listen, Nigeria is a place where even the leaders know that it is a lie. They know that Nigeria is a lie, that Nigeria cannot work. If you like, use your blood to paint them. It will not work. Do you see the Igbos that are demanding for apology? They are demanding for apology. I call them fools. When you don't have right, when you are not permitted to speak, when you are supposed to speak, when you don't have the allocations given to every other person, when you are not being included in any allocation, when you are not being treated as one of them, you claiming you are evil. Listen to this.
Mr. Speaker, I'm from a zone, and none of the Southeast and other zones are captured in this particular place. And this is a national budget. We have to look at it critically. Mr. Speaker, I want to bring the attention of the House in this item 281, Light Rail, Kano Ogun, Lagos. Mr. Speaker, I'm from a zone, and none of the Southeast and other zones are captured in this particular place. And this is a national budget. We have to look at it critically. It's not for a particular state, Mr. Speaker. The Southeast need to be included. That is my point of order, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.
Do you see it? Southeast was not included. Southeast was nothing. And he is bragging. Highest, they will give him small money. Pocket, he leave this thing you are talking now. Go and enjoy yourself weekend. Carry this beautiful girl. Go to London. Go to Dubai weekend. He will shut up. Listen.
I am sure in the course of the year that might...
Mr. Speaker, no other time. It is now. Let us do it now. Mr. Speaker, observation.
They are already ongoing now.
Yours is noted, Honorable, and will bring it to the attention of Mr. President.
Order.
In the near future, we'll ensure that that balancing is done, okay?
Finish, yo. In the near future, we will be sure you are included. It's always the case. He will be called aside and give an envelope or Ghana must go. You are gone. Nobody cares about you. Today, are Islamizing them gradually, just the same way they are doing it in Nigeria, gradually, community by community, community by community, and people don't see anything wrong with it. Today, they have finished taking over Niger, finished taking over Benue, they've entered Ebonyi, they have entered Enugu. And you think it will not get to you? When we tell you to fight for freedom, you call me a madman. I'm a madman, no problem. You say Mazen Nandekalo should die, someone Ekpa should die. They are evil. Really? Really? Listen to the video. Where is the video? Listen.
70 Christians have been found beheaded. Yes, beheaded in a church in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why is no one reporting this? Why does no one seem to care?
In this Congo, it's inside the church. Inside the church. Not just inside the church. These are people that left their homes. They want to go and watch it. I am telling you that it is coming to everywhere. because you did not want to say anything. You think it is okay, you think it will not get to you, you think it is not your business. 70. Probably every one of them that went to church that day, no one escaped, no one go back home alive. And this is in the Congo, where the whole world eyes are focused, where they are taking mineral resources, gold, diamond, whatever, ornament, whatever, fighting to grab it. This is the same Congo, the same man that is in France told you that they are sorry, they are going to return. What have you returned? It is becoming worse and worse every day. The question is, why is it that nobody is talking? And when people like Prime Minister Simon Ekpa talk, you call him a terrorist because he's trying to stop this kind of thing from coming to his people. When Mazen Nnamdi Kanu speak, you carry him, go kidnap him because you don't want him to talk. And then some people say Nnamdi Kanu is a madman, he's mental. He says Simon Ekpa is a terrorist, let him take him. Let me tell you, I've been saying it that when it will come to you, your money will not save you. Oh, a time is coming when they will enter church, enter house. You will leave all these your properties and run away. Where are you running to? You will run to Europe. You will run to America, right? They are also taking over everywhere. This is the time everybody must fight for their own domain. Fight to save your own ancestral land. Fight to save your own indigenous land. You don't, so many people are not even thinking on they don't bother. Why is it that when something happened in Afghanistan, all of them are running into Europe, running into America? None of them is going to Saudi Arabia. None of them is going to Turkey. None of them is going to Dubai. Why? None of them is going to Iraq. None of them is going to Iran. They are all going to where there is no Muslim land. They are going to occupy. Look at what is happening in Portugal today. They have overrun Portugal. Europe today, gradually they are taking over. UK today, it is sealed. And you don't see it? Listen to the video.
Well, let me bring in Dexter Van Zyl, an expert on anti-Christian violence. Dexter, what can you tell us about this absolutely barbaric atrocity?
Okay, well, first of all, it took place in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is a huge country with about 105 million people, that right now is basically in a conflict with neighboring Rwanda over territory in Kivu, okay? And the violence was perpetrated by an organization that was affiliated with ISIS. And the thing is that there are some people who have argued that they are essentially working on behalf of Rwanda, because Rwanda is a neighboring country that covets and is actually taking control of an awful lot of the mineral resources in Kivu. And so what this violence has done is demonstrated that the Congo cannot protect its citizens from violence in Kivu or in North Kivu. And so what people are worried about is that this is essentially an attempt to kind of destabilize the Democratic Republic of Congo and legitimize Rwandan claims to the minerals in the region. And I don't want to underestimate or downplay the ideological hatred by the perpetrators of this group who murdered these Christians. But the thing is that it's taking place against a backdrop of geopolitics in Africa. And what has happened is, and so if the Congo, under the leadership of Felix Tshisekedi, can't protect its borders, essentially it's going to have to go for help outside the country, and the people live there, and that's why people are worried about it. The Congolese that I've spoken to here in the States say, I said, wait a minute, are you telling me that the Rwandans are supporting this attack? And they said, yes. And I said, but Rwanda is a Christian nation. And they said, yes, but this will help destabilize the region where all of these minerals that are used for the iPhones that we make, that we use in our lives. And so clearly there's an ideological and a theological component going on, but there's also a strategic issue as well.
Oh,
it's terrible, isn't it? As a former Peace Corps volunteer, I served in the Congo for about a year, 14 months in the 1980s. And the problem is that if this violence is allowed to continue and the average Congolese learns and recognizes, and the violence like this against Christians perpetrated by jihadists is not a new problem. It's been a problem in North Africa for a long time. And the problem is that trying to get people to pay attention to it is very difficult.
Well, that's my second question is you see the headline, 70 Christians beheaded, and you think, what? You almost can't fathom that headline. But is Islamic violence against Christians in Africa, is this an anomaly, basically?
Oh, no, absolutely not. This takes place in a number of countries throughout the region. And there are some people who are worried that essentially what we're looking at is a jihad against Christians in numerous other places in North Africa. And routinely we hear reports of these acts of violence. And the problem is that what happens when the Christians start to fight back? Are we going to start to see the equivalent of an interreligious war in the continent? And the problem is that there's going to be huge problems with this. The problem is that, first of all, the reason why this doesn't get as much traction as, say, the conflict, the Palestinian suffering in Gaza is because there's just not that many reporters on the ground. And the Congo is a huge, dangerous place to be a reporter. And frankly, also, there's just a fair amount of ideological indifference to anti-Christian violence on the part of reporters in the West.
And Dexter, I think that's the question. If you were to replace 70 Congolese Christian with any other minority group, 70 Palestinians were beheaded, 70 people at a pride parade were beheaded, this would be the biggest news story of the decade. And yet this just happened and no one's reporting on it. And literally crickets.
Right. And it's like that with Boko Haram when they murder people in Nigeria. There's basically crickets. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we have essentially kind of an anti-Christian bias on the part of people who run the media. And the thing is that I think there's another factor is that essentially Christianity has been lumped in with essentially this whole notion of settler colonialism, and that whatever violence is directed their way is largely a consequence of the violence perpetrated by Christians in years past. But I'm going to tell you, I lived in Zaire, I lived in the DRC when it was called Zaire. And one of the reasons why I became a much more devout Christian was because of the church that I went to every Sunday morning as a volunteer. Okay. And, and I would go and talk to the local pastor when I had like spiritual crises as a volunteer. And the thing is that, so what has happened is that Black African Christians, okay, have suffered the consequences of hostility towards Western civilization and Christianity itself, in part because people don't care what happens to Christians unless it can be blamed. And part of it has to do with the fact that if the perpetrators are dark-skinned, well, then we're going to have to give them a pass. And it's a very, very strange milieu, so to speak, that we work in. But the thing is that unfortunately, this is the cynical side of me. I've been somebody that has documented hostility towards Israel for the past 20 years. But if the IDF were responsible for these beheadings, it would have made the front page of the Washington Post and the New York Times and every newspaper throughout the world. And there would be, Israeli Jews condemning it as well. But the problem is that because it's essentially black on black violence, nobody cares. And you know, there was a book called Stealth Conflicts by a scholar by the name of Virgil Hawkins, and he's a tremendous scholar. And he documented the number of newspaper articles about the civil war in the Congo. And this was at a point of time when 5.4 million people have died. There were a few dozen newspaper articles or a few dozen news shows or segments on it. But then when you looked at the conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians, which every one of the deaths is tragic, we're talking at this time maybe over a time frame of maybe 30 to 40,000 people had died. There were literally thousands of articles. So there were more articles than there were people killed during a specific period of time. And it had to do with, first of all, it was in people's interest that this conflict be covered. And more importantly, it was just easier to go to cover. The violence in the Congo is a huge country. It's kind of desolate. If you go there, there's a very good chance you're going to get very sick and you may not get good medical care. That was something that I experienced as a Peace Corps volunteer.
Yeah.
Go to Israel. You can have a nice meal at a restaurant in Jerusalem.
Okay. Sammy said something, and we will go there before we talk about this that happened in this. I hope the headline you can see it very well. I hope you can see the headline very well. Can you see it? I put it here. Did you see it? Can you see it now? Terror in Imo River. Over 30 mutilated bodies found in Abia community, and they tagged it ritual killing. But we will come back there. When we come back there, we will tell you why the narratives are being changed against us, yet we can't do anything about it. They change the narratives against me and you, yet we can't do anything about it. Our power ends here in the social media. We don't have media. Let us go there. Let's hear what they have to say. Let's go here. Where is that? Okay. This one have to go out.
Since the recent launch of former military head of state General Babangida's autobiography, A Journey in Service, heated debates have been the order of the day, both for Nigerians at home and those in diaspora as well. Reactions have ranged from commendations to knocks and for many, confusion about the way forward. 32 years after the revelation on his June 12th election, of course, and his role in that annulment. In his book, he reveals new information about his early life and friendships with prominent persons in Nigeria's history, his time in office, the Aburi Accord, Nigeria's transition to civil rule, the annulment of the election as earlier stated, the death of Delegiwa, and much more. On the program today, we unpack key revelations in the text as we process a possible way forward, particularly concerning the Igbo coup, which of course many have now realized it was not even an Igbo coup in the first place. What do the Igbos do with this new information? We are joined now in the studio by active TV political correspondent Nnamdi Obaya. Nnamdi, pleasure to have you join us this morning.
Good to be here this morning. Why are you not sounding like Ibrahim Babangida? It's not possible to sound like him. I just find it hilarious to hear everybody reacting to this book. I don't think it's something that I was waiting to see what it was he would say that would be new or different. What I really wanted to see was maybe the rationale behind why his best man and best friend Mama Mbasa was killed as a coup plotter. Even after many people begged him not to. Some people said that he did that thing as a kind of example, like, see what I can do to my own, imagine what I will do to you.
Is that not part of leadership?
Well, I mean, he was very, very cruel. And it's not part of leadership, part of civil society organizations, those who sold out their people. Was MKO completely clean? Did he have any security information? You know, these are the things we heard then. Because the annulment of the election caused a lot of problems, you know. I'm old enough to remember, at least in 1993, I think I was in maybe GS1, and I was very aware of Osabiola, people running. How I remember is, that was the year we're moving from Surulere to Ikoyi. So we pack load, we go, we come back. So because of school, we did Ikoyi during the week, then the weekend we come and get more things. Get to Surulere, and Surulere heavily Igbo populated. Come back weekends, almost nobody.
Yes.
Everybody has picked their kids and has fled. Some people, in order to, you know, keep their kids in school, because remember that all this happened at the time when there were exams and all that. The WAEC period, everything. So a lot of kids couldn't live like that. So people carried their kids and kept with friends who were not of Igbo extraction, so that they could, you know, it was messy,
Harrowing,
it was funny. Most people don't really know about these things, but that was my memory. Coming back and seeing that almost all my people had moved out. So there was a very, very serious consequence of that election. And to keep quiet till, imagine I'm talking about, I was in GS1 when this happened. Look at how many years later. So you're waiting to say all this, you know, saying, look, I'm a young officer. I know that thing was called an Igbo, but yes, we know Kaduna and Zogu is from what we call Delta states. It's so funny how while we are clamoring for Anyama states, some people are saying, oh, but you are not Igbo. But the person who led the so-called Igbo coup was from what we now call Delta. It was then called the Midwest states. And he wasn't even, and even as he certified, he was a Hausa boy, completely. He was not
barely speaks Igbo, but fluent in Hausa.
Couldn't speak it. He was speaking Hausa.
Yeah.
Like he was a full Hausa person. And then remember, Ademo Yega had already written the book Why We Struck.
Yeah.
Right.
And the names of all the plotters was there. Everything. There's nothing new.
The truth.
As he's telling us.
The truth about the coup was in Why We Struck. But I don't get the reason why people didn't pay attention and they are paying attention to IBBs at this point in time. But let me take you to this Nigeria. June 12th, why I won't use word sorry by IBB. Do you think that's the right thing to do? To say I'm sorry than, you know, just making the conversations around the book and letting revealing everything that happened during the election and every other thing that entails in that book.
Okay, so let's understand the political climate of that era. But I don't think this is too long after the fall of the Berlin Wall. The Cold War had ended, quote unquote, on paper, but there was a lot of proxy conflicts. But now it had moved from, you know, arming militia in different countries to now seeing how for not saying to be delegation and who was the federal government.
They're benefiting from the marginalization of the now being debunked in this particular book. Igbos are saying, what next? Because they have been marginalized for so long. They're still being marginalized as we speak. You brought up the fresh perspective of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, which is now going to bypass the southeast states. So it's also
have a railway running through the southeast.
Precisely that, you know. So it makes a lot of sense if you really think about it deeply. Now they're asking, what are we to do with all this information? Do you see the revelations made in that book as stirring unity in Nigeria or more division?
There was a point Oji made earlier, which I'm very sorry we let pass like that, which was, he said, all these things have been said before. You know, why we struck.
Why we struck.
Why is it that we are just all oohing and eyeing now? It's because indeed we have not invested in media. They cannot control any narrative. They cannot set any agenda. Any student of media will tell you, will define agenda setting for you. You need to be space, time, and consistency to affect the discourse in the public square. The Igbo do not have enough media. They don't have enough media outlets, enough media platforms to even affect any public discourse in this country. Even within the Southeast, external media from other places affect discourse here more than the media houses in the region we are staying. So even if we're not investing in media, all these things will continue to be moderated by people who own the media. And who own the media? Beneficiaries of past, because politics, where most people got their early money. So, and the people who didn't make their money from early politics, the refuse to invest in media. They remain traders. So they cannot affect policy, they cannot affect governance. They just have to take anything they see and make the best of it, which is what they have remained. Had it been that there had been proper investments in media, even if it was in diaspora, everybody would have been aware of it. We wouldn't be talking about this now.
I want to ask this question, right? In all this, right, regarding the 1966 coup leading to everything that happened, the pogrom, the counter coup, the pogrom, and whatnot. In all this conversation, there's one man that they've been dragging or calling out to speak all these years. General Yakubu Gowon. In all this, what is his fate before he leads us to meet his maker? Are there amends, conversations that's meant to be had with this man and the Nigerian state?
He's not the only one who is alive. Yes, he was there. He can tell the truth. But he's not the only one. Theophilus Danjuma is still alive.
I was even present at the lodge.
Theophilus Danjuma is still alive. He's doing so much charity and doing so much philanthropy in his old age. But I think these are the guys, if I'm correct, who went to pick up Agui Ironsin at State House in Ibadan. That led to the death of Agui Ironsin and Adekule Fajri. They are all alive. They are there. But one is still alive. He's there. If they are ready to speak, they should speak. If they are not, they can go and meet their maker, because there is nothing anybody is saying right now that is changed. Okay, I think this book has come. We are oohing and eyeing and making all sorts of noises in the media. What is really happening? To be fair, even the factional Ohanese that I'm calling a clown show are the only ones who have even at least brought anything out of it. Okay, let there be reparations. But are you going to present the book as evidence in court? Are you going to subpoena IDB to courts? In Nigeria, there's a judge that will give you a subpoena to go and bring Ibrahim Badamos Babangida from Mina to court.
Okay, now we're all asking and yearning for a statement by General Yakubu Gowon, and Oji has been quite strong on that on the show. But we also realize that he did write the foreword of this book, and he's encouraging. Let me get to that line. He recommended the book to the generations of
IBB is saying, he's talking about inconveniences. Inconveniences. What a joke. People died. Lives were destroyed. You cannot recover what we have lost as a nation. It just said it's inconveniences. What a sad admission. What a sad choice of words. The president is so regrettable that he's talking in these terms. He's dancing on the grave of people who were just maliciously killed. I singled out Bagauda Kalto is a journalist with Tempo News. He was actually burnt alive in the course of this June 12 crisis. What do you say about Bagauda Kalto? What do you say all the people who were killed on the streets of Ikorodu in Lagos? In a good country, if he says he accepts full responsibility, what does that mean? He deserves a bullet in the head, like Hitler did in 1945.
By himself. Dr. Falconda.
He's accepting responsibility?
Yeah.
Yes, certainly.
I see that you question his choice of word, his euphemism. So let us sort of do a canvas writing. Yes, you absolutely challenge it. Besides the bullet in his head, if you were writing the script, what should he be saying or doing today? What are the right words or what are the right actions?
He has no right to even talk to Nigerians at all. He has no right to show his face. is supposed to be hiding in shame until he dies, to be honest. Look, let's lay the history.
Yes, let's lay
the generation of the soldiers from 1966.
Yes.
It is now almost 60 years. Their class damaged Nigeria beyond redemption. Beginning from General Gowon, who brought Udoji Awards to spoil the economy of Nigeria. General Murtala killed people in Abagana, in Agbo. He himself, how many people were killed deliberately, pointedly, without remorse over these years? It's not just him. It symbolizes the debacle of Nigeria in the last 60 years that we have had. Now, the effect of what he has done is much bigger than we think.
Yeah.
There are 3 days in Nigeria history now, 3 dates.
Let's
October
have that.
1960, January 15, 1966, June 12, 1993. We started up as a country in 1960. It was truncated in 1966. 1990 will have been the point where we emerge as a nation, not a mere geographical expression. That chance was lost and lost almost forever. That's the greatest destruction on the Nigerian country, not the Nigerian nation.
There is, Dr.
And we have not.
Okay, and you that is called Kenneth, I go curse you, and I go beg Biafrans to say, fool like you don't want to discuss what we are discussing. You love PM. You love PM, really? What have you done about our PM? You love him. The PM, no, PM, my PM, the same way una do up at OBA. Criminals everywhere. That's what we are saying. Now, all the things that has been happening, they hide the history from you. You don't know what is going on. It's because you don't have media. You remember that Ojo Zokalo came out with the Sun then, and was publishing everything. Boom, boom, boom. What did they do? They call them. See, if you don't take your time, we go kill you, kill everything the way you get them for here. We go kill you, come out for here. Do you remember? I don't know those of you that remember when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started, I'm feeling good. Let me put on something. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started, I think, was it in 2012, either 2012 or so, then there was no Facebook. No, I don't know when Facebook started. I don't know. But when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started, there was nothing, know how to publish. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went to Ojo Zokano. We have Champions newspaper owned by the criminal Iwenyewu that died. Iwenyewu refused to publish Nnamdi Kanu Biafra. Ojo Zokalo accepted to publish. That was why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was shouting and saying all sort of things, leaking secrets of Nigeria when they held Ojo Zokalo. Hey, Kenneth, I will block you here. If you ever make any statement that is not what we are discussing, I will block you and I will lay a curse on you. So be careful. Let this be the last time you will come here to cause or change narrative or cause distraction. Be careful. You can go to the place you go and do your gossip and do not here. Okay? I warn you for the last time. So, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went to Ojo Zokalo. That was why he was fighting for Ojo Zokalo when Ojo Zokalo was illegally taken to prison. Ojo Zokalo agreed to publish Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his Biafra IPOB. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started with Orji Sokalo. Orji Sokalo published, I think, either 2 or 3 times. Nigeria warned Orji Sokalo, if you ever publish Nnamdi Kanu again, we will take your license from you. Orji Sokalo called on that. What I'm telling you is authentic. If you know anyhow, you can verify. Go and verify. Orji Sokalo called on Nnamdi Kanu and told Nnamdi Kanu, I no go fit to am again, no. If I try am, they go collect the license. What is essence? Nnamdi Kanu understood and went away until he was able to find Facebook. I think somebody that was around that will be able to understand what I'm saying today is somebody like Ogodoman, because Ogodoman has been there with him. You know, people don't even know Ogodoman as people that were there with Nnamdi Kanu. Ogodoman is one of the people that Nnamdi Kanu talked every minute. But you will not know. He don't make noise. Ogodoman should know what I'm telling you now. I wish he's listening here. He will, if he can come in now and tell you that what I'm saying is true, he will even tell you the story better than I'm telling you now. So our people don't have media, and even those that have the little media, we have Champions newspaper. I don't know if it is still there, then by Iweyamu, and we have the Sun newspaper, Orji Sokalo. I don't know if there is other one. But all these media are not publishing anything beneficiary to the Ndi Igbo. They publish to the tone of Nigeria because Nigeria is controlling media. Today, look at this news here. Today, look at the news. They will always change the narrative. They tell you terror on Imo River. Over 30 bodies found in Abia community. Ritual killing. They tell you say na ritual killing. Now the question is this. Which kind of ritual killing they do where they call ritual kill 30 people, over 30 people at the same time, come on their body parts? Which kind of ritual killing be that one? For how many ritual houses they? The link is there. You can come in if you want to come in. How many ritual temples or shrines they where can't do this kind of matter? How many of them? I am asking a question, very innocently asking this question because I really want to know. How many ritual homes? How many ritual houses? For those on space, if you cannot see the link, but I just posted the link on in the comment section. You click the link and they come in. But if you can see it and you really want to contribute, come to YouTube and then drop your contribution. Now, I am not going to read all right. Now, I am not going to read the news because it's annoying. Because when they see the truth, they will always turn it against you. Now, over 30 people, probably 49, remember, 39 is over 30. 35 is over 30. 38 is over 30. So, over 30 mmadụ, okorobịa na agbọghọbịa, ụmụ ndị mmadụ.
Alright guys, thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. Please Let's drop our comment below the comment section. Share this video, let it go viral. Let Nigerians, particularly the Biafrans, understand what is happening today. Thank you, and bye for now.